But my man, are we ready to jump over to the AFC North? A division where I only have one team above 500.
Yeah, let's do it, brother.
But don't worry, there's room for Homer. There's tons of room for Homerism.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Evo, take it away. Who's your number 4 team?
I'm assuming we're in the same spot here. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's not.
Oh, well, I got the Aaron Rodgers led Pittsburgh Steelers at 5-12 in the AFC North. Yeah. Cancer, you can't beat it sometimes. And like you put brain cancer in there.
Cancer killed a lot of motherfuckers.
He is going to be one of the worst moves that this team has made ever in its franchise history. Look, bringing in DK Metcalf, that's great. But other than that, I don't like the receiving talent that they have there. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers put up some statistically good games last year and overall a statistically decent season with the Jets. And look at how bad that team was. They have, I bring this up all the time.
Better defense. The better defense than he had with the Jets.
I don't know that they are. I don't know if they are. The Jets are a very good defense.
For sure.
Yeah, but the Jets had a good young defense. The year prior, they were a top 5 defense in the league. And then Aaron Rodgers comes in after recovering from his Achilles, and somehow they are that much worse. And it's because they're out on the field all the time because the offense is fucking terrible and it doesn't work well under the systems that he likes to run and the type of leadership that he has on that team. The minute that things start to go bad for that Steelers team is the minute that their season goes completely downhill, because it's always going to be, you're the problem, you're the problem, you're the problem, not me. I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm God's gift to man. Like it's that is going to be the biggest downfall for this team. On top of that, like again, I like the running back that they drafted. I think that's good for their system. They've got a okay offensive line, but it's going to be a run heavy system. Freiermuth is obviously a good dump off target, and DK Metcalf is good, but I'm not expecting them to be much more than a average to above average offense. That defense also aging, not a fantastic schedule for them to go up on. And I just feel like the cancer on this team is going to bring them down. As soon as, they get one flat tire, the wheels are going to completely fall off on this fucking team. I got him going 5-12.
All right. I love that. I do not have them at 5-12, but I fucking love hearing that. My number 4 team, also not the Steelers, I have the Bengals down at 6-11. Their first round picks going back to college. They can't play defense. The guy who gets all their sacks basically has told them to suck his dick from the back. They have absolutely no pass rush, no defense. Joe Burrow is going to have to score 50 points a fucking game for them to be any goddamn good. And I'm sure when I get a chance to sit down and watch quarterback, I'm going to really like Joe Burrow and just the dude that Joe Burrow is, his work ethic and all. I imagine
he embodies Joe Cool. He embodies Joe Cool.
I imagine he's going to be fucking awesome, which makes 100% sense why Cincinnati got him, and they're going to fuck this up. Just like they did with Carson Palmer. They are going to be so bad. The defense is going to be atrocious. I got them all the way down at 6-11, 1-5 in the division. They're going to be mega ass, as our friends over there at Barstool would say.
Mega ass alert. Alrighty. Well, my number 3 team is your Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I understand.
I have them at 7-10 this year. I am not sold on any of the quarterbacks that they have in there, despite having Super Bowl winning quarterback Kenny Pickett ready to lead that squad out. The Quinshon Judkins news, I didn't affect my rankings for this, but I think this only helps my prediction of 7-10 for the Browns this year. I think you guys still have a very solid defense and that you're going to have to lean on that defense. I don't think that you guys did enough or really anything at all to upgrade that offensive line. And that was the bane of that offense. You're going to get some better or at least equivalent quarterback play from the guys that you're going to put out there this year. The wild card is will a Shadur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel see the field at some point in time and provide a boost to this offense? That's the biggest question for me. It sucks to see Nick Chubb go, but I think that it was
It does.
probably the right move for them because of
Now
the
with the
injury
Quinshawn
history.
Judkins news in fucking hindsight.
Right, right. And at that point that sucks. But I'm a big fan of Dylan Sampson. He's not like the between the tackles type of runner that you want, but he is a good running back, a good third back, receiving back. And I do like Dylan Sampson there for you guys. And I think that you guys have a really solid receiver there in Jerry Judy. And so there are some options, but I think the offensive line is going to really be the crux of this team moving forward. And it could spell the end of Stefanski there
A lot
in
of them are coming back. A lot of the Browns' offensive line is coming back and actually transitioning back to the system in which they were accustomed to running, this Stefanski system, the wide zones. So we'll see the Conklins, the Tellers, the Batonios of the world out there moving bodies rather than trying to run what the fuck ever it was, some weird RPO game shit that we were running last year with a back that was not designed for that at all. It was the hires last year were really bad and they were designed to help Deshaun Watson. I expect that there will be a little bit of an uptick in our offense this year because if there's not, I might burn that place to the fucking ground.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me is I'm not sold on the quarterback position. And then
Understood.
the offensive line isn't, in my opinion, ready to support a quarterback that is less than average.
Okay. I get that. My number 3 team is your number 4 team. I got the Steelers coming down and it's finally happening. Both of us have it. The Steelers and Mike Tomlin, they have a losing season, 7-10, 3-3 in the division. I'm not buying it at all. The Aaron Rodgers effect is not a good one. It's not a positive effect. Brain cancer is bad. And listen, when you take out DK, or if you put in DK Metcalf and you take out George Pickens, I don't see that as a huge swap. Now, DK's been here for a little bit longer, but in terms of personality and style of receiver, that's a 1-for-1 swap. So you didn't get better there necessarily. You didn't get better at running back. Now, I do like what they did with their offensive line. But, I mean, we talked about their trade on the defensive side. The Minka for Jalen Ramsey. It's a fucking drop in the bucket. It feels like everything they're doing is just a drop in the bucket, 1-for-1 replacements. And they're doing it with older guys who just kind of suck as people. So I'm not high on them at all. I'm going 7-10.
All righty. That takes me to my number 2 team. I have the Cincinnati Bengals in second place. And this is purely on offense. I expect them to be lights out on offense. I think that they did do a little bit of upgrading along that offensive line. They already have a decent run game, one of the best quarterbacks in the game, and some of the best wide receivers in the game. You don't have to talk too much about T. Higgins and Jamar Chase to know they're really, really good. But then they got guys who kind of stepped up last year, and Yoshevich, who stepped in at times. Burrow's got a lot of good receiving options out there, and he was consistently putting up 30 points a game last year, and that defense was letting him down. And I think that's going to be the ultimate bane for this team again, is the defense letting them down. Though I expect they will find a way to make amends and get Trey Hendrickson back in the building. And my gut also tells me that they are going to try to find a way to get Shamar Stewart in there as well, despite the fact that he is willing to sit out. I think that they are going to bend the knee first and adjust that contract where he ends up coming in. I don't expect them to provide a huge boost or anything like that year one, but I think that if they get both of them in there, new defensive system, there might be a little bit of a boost to that defense where they're at least as bad as they were last year, maybe a little bit better. But I think that they're going to be lights out on offense. They're going to be scary on offense. That takes them to 10-7.
You have a winning record.
And I have them making it into the playoffs, squeaking in at the end. They almost made it last year with that bad of a defense. And we're hoping on other teams to lose in the last week of the year. This year, I think that they're going to be able to make it in just because that offense could be absolute gangbusters.
Listen, their offense should be good, but their defense is so bad. And if they were going to get Trey Hendrickson done, if they were going to get Shamar Stewart done, they really should have done it before fucking today. Because the TJ Watt news only makes this a billion times fucking harder to sign both of those guys for the Bengals.
Yeah, specifically Hendrickson, because Hendrickson is now going to be looking for a record
$40
contract.
million a year.
Yeah,
The
but he's
Bengals
young
are gonna
enough
have to
where
pay somebody $40 million a year, not quarterback or wide receiver.
he's young enough where it makes a little bit more sense, maybe than the
What,
TJ Watt deal.
27, 28?
Something like that, yeah. And then obviously the money doesn't really change at all for Shamar Stewart. They just have to quit putting asinine things in the contract. So either way, they're going to have to shell out a shitload of money for Hendrickson. But I believe that they will find a way to do that because they can't go into the season without him.
Just like 3 years ago when Deshaun Watson and the Browns fucked the entire league on guaranteed money, Steelers just fucked the Bengals on signing Trey Hendrickson.
Yep.
All right, man. Moving on to team number 2 for me. I'm a homer, but I'm not fucking delusional. I got my Cleveland Browns coming in there. 8-9. Not a bad record on the year, but good enough to make the fucking playoffs in my AFC. Number 7 seed, 8-9, is going to make it in the AFC. I am very down on a lot of these divisions in the AFC. Very top heavy. I think the Browns have a chance if they can win a couple of games early to make a push for a back half spot. Now, early, it's a tough fucking slog.
Yeah, those first 5 weeks are not easy.
No. So, I love you. I got us beating you guys out in London. And that's what gives me 2 and 3 in the first 5 weeks, which is kind of gets us on track.
See, I gave you the Cincinnati win week 1 because Cincinnati sucks at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
and then after that, I've got you losing out until week 6 versus Pittsburgh.
I actually have us losing week 6 against Pittsburgh. But I have us beating you guys out there in London.
Well, you'd be the first team to ever do it overseas.
Hey, listen, last time we played, we beat you guys.
When the fuck was that?
That was actually
the preseason last year.
First year that we ever had this podcast. I have a sleeveless hoodie upstairs that you bought because you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes. So I got my Browns at 8-9. Listen, there's a lot of question marks, and there's even more question marks now. When I originally fucking made these predictions, my second round pick had not punched his girlfriend in the fucking face. I think there's a lot of different things that are going to happen here. Week 6, we're going to see a quarterback change. At that point, I got us at fucking 2-4. We're going to see a quarterback change. And there'll be a little bit of an uptick, but it won't be enough. Well, and here's the thing. When we see a quarterback change, and we're not going to go from, Kenny Pickett to Joe Flacco. We're going to go from, it's going to be either Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco to a rookie. We're not going to have to see both of those guys. So we're going to get to see some of these rookies play out. So I got at least 3 guys starting games for the Browns this year. I got that as Joe Flacco, who I think should be day 1 starter. I believe Kenny Pickett could be trade fodder for a conditional 7th for a team that has an injury. And then we'll see Dylan Gabriel probably week 6. And then to finish out the season, maybe give the Browns a little bit of hope going forward. Week 13 is where we see Shedeur Sanders. Gets a few wins. They're kind of competing. We get into the first round of the playoffs. We get the shit smacked out of us that first week. And we go back into the offseason. We reset. We reattach. We reapproach the offseason with hopefully the knowledge that we have at least one quarterback that can play in either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. We will have somebody who can run the fucking ball, whether that's Judkins because they've made a decision to keep him, or Sampson, or Ford takes a massive leap forward. And I think our defense will still be good, really good, but the offense just won't stay out there enough early in the year to have a winning record.
All right. Subtle Jerome Ford drop there. Second most yards per attempt of any running back in the league last year when not contacted in the backfield.
Correct.
Right
However,
behind Derrick Henry.
Yeah, so when he doesn't get hit in the backfield, he's been okay. But if you take away like 3 of his runs, that number comes down drastically. So efficiency it's kind of been a boom or bust with Jerome Ford.
Stats always need context. They
Yeah.
always need context. All right.
Shout out our guy Mac Buffalo on some of those.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then to round out and finish off our day here in the AFC North, all right, the Baltimore Ravens, first place, 14-3.
Number 1 seed,
as the number 2 seed.
Ooh, who's your number 1?
AFC. Number 1 is the Bills. Bills are 15-2 in my predictions. Ravens are 14-3, and I think they're all around one of the best, well-rounded teams. I think this is their year. To me, it's them, the Bills or the Ravens in the Super Bowl from the AFC this year. Both of them just look elite across the board. I don't expect Lamar Jackson to take any sort of a step back. I think they're as good or better on offense, and I think on defense that they're as good or better. This Ravens team is fantastic. They are very, very scary. I faced them in week 10 with my Vikings. I have the Vikings taking an L at home to Baltimore in that week. I think they're a fantastic fucking team. Going to be juggernauts again. The stuff that's going to derail that is if Derrick Henry gets hurt or something like that, or Lamar Jackson gets hurt. But beyond that, like, they are fantastic, phenomenal.
Yeah. So I have the Ravens as my number 1 team as well, and it was by a landslide in this division. I also have them as the best team in football. I have them finishing 16-1, 6-0 in the division. This team is absolutely fucking stacked. Offense, they didn't get any worse. Damn sure they didn't get no worse. And they got older. I mean, if you're worried about efficiency with Derrick Henry, I mean, I wouldn't. Especially with Lamar Jackson back there, especially proving what he can do with his arm. This defense has gotten better. The movement that they have done within their secondary has really changed the way they can attack offenses. We saw this hugely dynamic defense. Tons of turnovers created last year in the back half when they moved Kyle Hamilton around. I think that trend continues because they got better in the back end. They got younger on the defensive front. And Lamar Jackson he's the truth. Like, he has proven every single doubter wrong. You and me included, saying he was not going to be the quarterback that could throw it like it. I mean, he went for almost 4,500 yards last year and over 40 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The man can play fucking football.
Side note with Lamar Jackson, and this gets back into the collusion case. I don't know if you've seen the stuff about Lamar Jackson with the collusion case.
He has a billion. He has probably more right to bitch than anybody. He's the most dynamic football player the NFL has ever fucking seen. He deserves more guaranteed money than probably anybody.
Well, what is interesting, what came out from it was that this all centered around when he was given that transition tag where another team could offer up 2 first-round picks for him, et cetera, et cetera. Care to venture guess how many teams put in offers or contacted Lamar about whether or not he would want to play for their team?
I'm sure it was 0 because they didn't want to give up the assets.
It was 0, and not because of that.
Because the money?
It was depositioned. Execs said, we aren't so sure about a running quarterback. We aren't so sure about his injury history, that sort of stuff.
The Jets could have. The Jets could have had him over Aaron Rodgers.
That's who we were banging the table for.
Everybody in the fucking league could have had him over Aaron Rodgers.
Imagine the hindsight right now of saying that he's not worth 2 first-round picks. The guy's worth 3 and more.
We gave up 3 for Deshaun Watson. He wasn't worth 1.
Yeah.
I would give up those same picks and more to go back in time and pay fucking Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. It's really weird. That's nobody contacted him. You would think NFL GMs would at least kick the tires.
He runs his own shit. His mom's his agent. He's like, no, he does not fuck with these NFL people. And I think that bothers them a little bit.
Probably, but it's still Lamar Jackson. You still contact and say, what would your camp think about coming out here if we were to offer up those?
Yeah, it's Lamar Jackson. You should be thinking that.
Worst case, it's a phone call and that gets hung up on.
Let's be honest, 2 years ago, we still had questions on if the arm was going to do the things that the arm does now.
That's true, but I think at the time, he was still worth 2 firsts.
Yeah.
Even with the questions.
Well, we brought up specifically the Aaron Rodgers and the picks that were given up for Aaron Rodgers over going after a Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that was our litmus test on our show. Was do you want Aaron Rodgers and the picks involved there, or do you want a younger, more dynamic running style quarterback who's got potential to develop as a passer in a Lamar Jackson, who's already winning MVPs? And we saw how that went for the Jets. So
yeah, well, the Jets aren't exactly good at quarterback. But you know who is the Ravens and fucking Lamar Jackson. I got them 16-1, dog.